So what's that you're making?
We are making a flat tire. We're making a mast boot. I start mine out by taking this is a car inner tube, whatever kind of inner tube you can find. We used to use trucks, but I don't think there are any more trucks in the world that have inner tubes in the tires anymore. They're all tubeless now. And start by making a cut there, and then we're going to make a cut right here. And then this is the part I'm going to use. And they make this nice little mark on there for you, so you can
Make some
so you can
mast
cut
boot.
it. Yeah, so you can cut it straight. Very nice of them. Straight-ish. Now this all gets covered up because it's highly susceptible to ultraviolet damage. Where's my line? There it is. So, and it's uglier and shit too. So we're going to cover it tomorrow morning. You coming tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to cover it with Sunbrella boot. The second step. The first step is, let's take this outside and we'll measure it. So, the great thing about inner tubes is they're already made just the form you want. So they're curved like that. So what we do is just wrap this around the mast, and then I'm going to mark this overlap. You can use a Sharpie on this. It shows up just fine. Even though you think, well, black on black, how's he going to be able to see that? So I marked that where they join. I'm going to go over here and mark a cut, 6 inches further maybe. And then I'm going to mark this where my cut line is. And this gets contact cement, and this gets contact cement. So then all I do is I cut this off at that mark, and then we'll put contact cement on it, which I already did on the other one, so we can go look at it. It's all ready. Before you put the contact cement on this, wipe it down inside and out with acetone, because on they put some white stuff inside the inner tube. I don't know why, but anyway, it doesn't stick very well. So then I took my 2 parts where I marked, and we've put contact cement on here. And now the contact cement is dry, which means it's ready to adhere. And as soon as it makes contact, hence the name, it's done. It's adhered. It's forever. So we want to make sure they don't touch until we're ready. So we're just going to bring this around. Oops. I'm going to pull just a little tension on that. There. So that part is good. Now we just need to, what we're going to do is turn this inside out and bed it in Sikaflex. And so what we're going to end up with is this here. I'm going to put Sikaflex right around here, and then we're going to put the hose clamp here on the inside, and then we're going to cover this bring it down over the mast boot, and then we can hose clamp it again there later. But the most important thing is the Sikaflex, and let's check the height of the, maybe somewhere in here. It'll be like that, yeah, so that gives me about an inch wide flap on the inside. So I'll just make a little mark right here. This is going to be completely covered up in goop later, so it's not a problem. There's my mark. I'm going to try and do a few of those more or less the same level all the way around. All the way around in the Sikaflex, in the sealant bedded down. Okay. Turn that down and you don't caulk that lower joint. It's just for you know, when green water comes across the deck or whatever, as long as water's not going to get up in there. So just leave it dry. It makes it easier to remove. We need to pull the mast off, which hopefully won't have to happen for a while since we just replaced all the rigging and the chain plates and the mast step. And oh, I like you got the logo Hang Feng in China. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now that should seal up, but we're going to do one extra step, which would just help keep the water from sitting in there and exploiting any little gaps we might have left when we slid the boot down onto the caulk. This way water will come straight out.
I just noticed that you got the tip of your Sikaflex too in diagonal.
Always.
And I've never done that.
Really?
Yeah, and it seems so much easier.
It's so much easier to put a consistent shaped bead, and you can alter the angle then and make it so it spans a wider gap, or you can alter the angle and make it a smaller, like a deeper in.
It's insane. Can't believe I didn't know that before. Changes everything.
When we used to build houses and do additions and remodels and stuff, we caulked all the trim to the walls and the baseboards. Jesus, I must have run through, I don't know, 100 cases of this crap, caulking houses and boats since then, because they're always leaking. Always leaking. Alright, that's it. Tomorrow we'll make the Sunbrella cover in, what color is this? Beige of some kind, right?
Okay.
Yeah? Well, it's a nice day. Still cloudy, that's good. We're going to build a...
That's not gonna work though.
Huh?
If you explain stuff
He's
and
done.
he's done.
We're going to build the boot, no, the cover, decorative, because this is supposed to be waterproof, but it'll if you let any sunlight get on it, it's gone in months. In a few months, it'll disintegrate. So we just need 3 different numbers here. First, we want the circumference around the mast, which is 24.25. Then we want the circumference around the bottom. I'm going to go to this because it's the widest point, and it's 32.25. And then we want the overall height, which is going to be, we'll call it maybe 6.5. And make sure that goes underneath the vang fitting. We could do 7. 24.25 by 32.25 by 7. Now we just have to remember those numbers. And the other thing, the 32.25, the full diameter happens sooner. It happens at 1.5 inches from the bottom, so we'll have to keep that in mind because we're building a tapered boot, and it's got to be big enough to accommodate that. All right, so we got 6.5 inches plus our hem allowance. So I got 2 inches on the bottom, 2 inches on the top. Is 10.5, and I'm going to go just a little more because there always seems to be just a fuzz short. What is that, 11, right? Mm-hmm. So we got hem allowance on here too. I'm going to go with 2 inches on one end and just 1/2 inch on the other end. So we'll say 32.25, 33 for the hem allowance on one end, 35 gives me the hem allowance on the other end, because one end I'm just going to fold over because it'll get a flap later and it doesn't need to have the double rubbed hem. So that's 35 overall, but remember that's 1.5 inches up from the bottom. So here's the hem allowance is right there, plus 1.5 inches. So that's the point where we need to come at 35. And these always get shrunk a little bit, just because of the stitching. Because we're going to stitch around it twice on the top and twice on the bottom, and all that stitching, all the thread tension makes it just a little bit shorter all the time. So I always add 2 inches. So that's our mark. 32.25 plus 3/4 for the hem allowance on one end, plus 2 for the hem allowance on the other end, plus 2 to accommodate the stretch or the thread tension. And now it's 24.25 to 32.25 is 10 inches, right? No, 8 inches. Ooh. Well, that's a nice easy number then. So we do 8 inches divided by, so it's 8-inch difference from the top to the bottom in the circumference. So if we do that, 8 inches divided by 1/2 inch is 16 different places, and that's going to be about every 2 inches. We should do it every 4 inches. Let's do it 1 inch. We're gonna make darts basically in this. So let's do it on 1 inch would be every 4 inches, starting from over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 darts at 1 inch apiece. Now we just I need this line for reference. This is my hem allowance plus the fact that usually I would be plus the fact that the widest portion of the boot is above the bottom. Usually it's a taper all the way to the bottom, but since our measurement was 1.5 inches above the bottom, when we make the angle, the bottom's going to be wider and it'll be narrower at the top. Then I need my hem allowance here as well, because this is going to determine where we mark our darts. That's just 2 inches down from the top. That's the actual top of the thing, and this down here is the actual bottom. And it should be 6 3/4 inches. Excellent. So we just need to mark square. This is going to be where we fold the material to make our darts. And then we can go from here. They're 1 inch a piece, so I'm going to put that a 1/2 inch there and 0 here. Same thing, 1/2 inch there, 0 here. Is that 5/8? It was 5/8. Whoops. We'll have to. We got this square. That's easier to see on that side. These are going to be a little bit big, but whatever. We just have to remember I don't want quite that steep. It's going to be 9 when I do the cuts on the ends. So we just have to make the darts because, yeah, I had 8 darts marked now, but the cuts on the end are angled too, so that's going to make it an overall 9 inch difference between the top and the bottom. So we just have to go a little shy of our marks there. Anytime I'm doing anything with the Sunbrella, we always use Tenara because it's the best. Otherwise, you're just wasting time making things out of Sunbrella and not use Tenara. It's just, yeah, what's the point? Especially in the tropics. I guess you can get away with it in, say, Maine or something, but in the Caribbean, if it's not Tenara, the thread will burn up in about 3 years. Whoops.
Zigzag.
Straight. The needle's bent. You hear that? Like it's punching through the cloth. Let's see, fold it on our straight line we made. You can double check, it should be, straight there. And then we're going to sew it almost on the angled marker does. So a little bit less because right there. And then we'll finish it straight because we don't really want the part with the hem to be angled. And okay. Why is it skipping so much? I guess it's not that much. Okay.
All in one stitch.
Mm-hmm. My favorite way to do it. Never pull the needle out. Okay, now let's go see if it fits. That's the next step.
Looks good.
Yeah?
Looks really good.
Well, you look at that. I didn't need the 2 inches extra after all. Only an inch this time. So, I'm just going to mark right where the overlaps. sometimes they don't quite meet, you know. This looks fine. So we're going to put a Velcro flap on here and a piece of Velcro on there for the closure, and we're done. Yeah. It's 2 inches wide plus a hem allowance on one side, plus a ½ inch, plus a little more. Just go 5 inches. And this is the same. This is an offcut of that piece, so it's going to be the same height. See if we can do this without pulling the needle. Right too far. That's where I'm supposed to be. That's it. Done. Nice.
Here it is.
That's pretty cute.